Greetings, kids. Bishop Vedder here. I'm still your bishop. Come to read you another book. This one's called Sarabella's Thinking Cap by Judy Schachner. All right, let's get started. Sarabella had no time for small talk. In fact, she never talked much at all because she was too busy thinking. She thought about big things and small things, about oodles of in-between things, like aunts and uncles and doodles of poodles. What do you think, Pinky? Pinky's thoughts would remain a mystery, but there was nothing mysterious about her family. They loved puppets, painting pictures, and playing guitar. But most of all, they loved their Sarabella, just the way she was, with her feet on the ground and her head in the clouds. So Sarabella there was nowhere she would rather be than dreaming of painting ponies racing across the sky. Some ideas came as a complete surprise to her, while other notions were coddled and cared for like rare plants in a well-loved garden. There was never a doubt that Sarabella had a green thumb for thinking. The problem was no one ever knew what she was thinking about. Her teacher, Miss Fantozzi, had a knack for knowing just what Sarabella wasn't thinking about, and that was schoolwork. Sometimes all it took was a word, a sound, or a scent of Samantha's magic markers to carry her thoughts away. And that's when Mr. F., who was really very nice, had to send her home with another note. And this made Sarabella feel terrible. The notes never upset her parents because once upon a time, they got sent home with notes too. Really? Said Sarabella. Really, replied her mom. You have daydreams in your DNA. At bedtime, Sarabella cuddled up to her big sister, Cease. I wish I knew how to focus, said Sarabella. It's easy, said Cease. All you have to do is take deep breaths and squint. At school the next day, Sarabella followed her sister's advice, but all she got was a dizzy spell and a visit to the school nurse for an eye test. One night during the math facts memorizing meltdown, a bear of thought dropped by for a chat. I have a good head for numbers, he said. I can see that, replied Sarabella. Keep me in mind if you ever need help, said the bear. I'll consider it, said Sarabella. And that was her first mistake. The second was taking the bear to school the next day. I sure hope you left some room in your head for math facts, said her sister. There was always room in Sarabella's brain for one more tantalizing thought. Just not math facts. By the time they arrived in class, the bear had fallen asleep, but waiting in the wings was an odd flock of birds who didn't know the difference between an egg and the number 8. That's when she heard Mr. F. calling out her nickname. Earth to cerebellum, he said. A penny for your thoughts. She's not thinking, said Russell. She's daydreaming. Daydreaming is an awesome kind of thinking, said Mr. F., but not during class. That afternoon, Sarabella stayed in at recess to catch up on her work. She liked sitting at the round table in a quiet room. I know you can do this, Sarabella, said Mr. F., handing her the very last quiz. Just put your thinking cap on and focus. Sarabella began to imagine what her thinking cap might look like, and then she turned back to her papers. Right before the bell rang, Mr. F. had Sarabella hand out the weekend assignment. They're all something fun. What do you think, Sarabella? Asked Mr. F. An otter popped into her mind, but that was just the first thing. Before she even got home, kissed Pinky, and put on her comfy bunny slippers, Sarabella had already thought of 1,000 extraordinary things. By dinner time, she'd run out of paper, had an upset tummy, and a great big mess on her hands. That night, just as Sarabella was about to give up, a whale of a thought appeared on the horizon. The closer it got, the more beautiful it became. And though it was the most enormous creature she had ever seen, Sarabella felt unafraid. Do you know what I think? Asked the whale. I see what you think, replied Sarabella. And so should everyone else, said the whale. To share it, you've got to wear it. Then the whale blew Sarabella a kiss before she swam off. That gave Sarabella an idea. She found a brown paper bag and a ruler for measuring. Then she rounded up some old magazines, pretty papers, pencils, pastels, stickers, and stamps, along with her favorite drawings. For the rest of the night, she clipped and colored and pasted and painted until her project was done. Monday morning, everyone was eager to share their weekend project. "A penny for your thoughts," said Mr. F., as the kids sat crisscross applesauce on the floor. "Who's going first?" To the surprise of all, it was Sarabella. "If you want to share it," she said, standing up in front of the class, "you've just got to wear it." And that's what exactly Sarabella did when she placed the most spectacular collection of doodles and daydreams right on top of her head. "So that's what you've been thinking," said the kids in awe. Laura saw unicorns, and Zavi saw planets. Dylan saw a cat, a snake, and a feather, while Nate reported seeing clouds and a touch of bad weather. "A penny for your thoughts, Mr. F.," said Sarabella. "I think," he said with a smile, "your thoughts are worth more than all the pennies in the world." On Tuesday, Bob came to school wearing a thinking cap of his own. Sarabella really liked it. "We have a lot in common," said Bob. "My thoughts exactly," agreed Sarabella. The end. It's a good story, kids, huh? It's good to use your mind, huh? To imagine. Imagine all that God gives us. And imagining all that he wants to give us. So don't be afraid to daydream and to dream of big things and dream of a better future for all of us. God bless you. Bye now.